Okay, so just one more time for you all for the story meeting for today. We just want to be clear. No org not playing today on the broadcast. We understand what that means.
I still don't get why this is news. Like, I know things are bad there, but surely every org playing is like the default, no?
What? No. That's not the case. You know, it's no org. You know what I mean. No org not playing today. Avril, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, that means we don't have to be fucking here. We don't have to be here. We can just go to the bar tonight.
Oh, no team is playing. Oh, but I was already, man. I didn't realize we had the day off.
No, guys. We don't have a day off. We have games today. That's not what I mean. I mean no org. You know, no org. Yes? Can we agree? No org not playing.
We
but
understand.
Then every org is playing.
Oh
wait,
my
is
God.
every org playing?
Veteran,
Playing?
I need you to work with me. Okay, we're going on in a couple seconds. All right. I need you guys. All right. No org. Like we really. Oh no. Wait. We're live already.
Worse.
Oh my. We gotta. Hang on.
What?
Cut the feed. Guys, we gotta figure this out.
Just cleanse that away. What you do want is the Drake, and they get it.
Secure. Dragoon has a possible flank angle here too. He has the World Ender. They're going in deep, looking to see who they can get. It is a huge wave of hate filling through the team, but Sketch is untouched and unhit by all the hate. He's got himself a double kill, making a trip, and it's Cincinnati Fear finding these.
Udia doesn't die. Udia can't lose stacks. That's it. There we go.
That's their point, and that's where we let it lie as Deep Learning uses the cleanse, but the arrow comes in big. The bullet time eviscerates town. It is everything thrown at Deep Learning, but the cavalry is there, and he has all the support in the world.
Oh, it's giving that stopwatch. Ariandel stunned up on the front line. Hostile takeover doing a lot. And now Tomato and Act are going to have to do the work. Meslo barely flashes away, but it's a double kill already. In the side of Azog, and APA does so much damage. Fates go on to 2. It's a quadra kill for Azog, and Actor's the last remaining survivor. Can Psycho do it? The flash bandage toss is not going to land here, but in comes Niles onto the backside. Give it over to him. You know that he wants it. Azog will get the pentakill.
Bay art capability certainly nowhere near as high as you would like. Now Sniper, just tanking this turret.
Oh my gosh, he's just going to get the kill, isn't he? Yeah.
Wow. Doesn't even need the jump for that.
This
Incredible.
We were talking about how the matchup is really good for Sniper, and it's just gone from bad to worse. He's gonna get the first tower now, trying to outplay a 1v2, get the stun in onto Skoon, and now Reach doesn't have a whole lot of damage. Finally, it's collapsed upon them, but Big's gonna look for the engage. Gorica trapped between the entire members of No Org, and he will get shut down again by Fire, who will go down to Shochi, and now the disengage from Robex is coming in too big. It's a double kill already for Shochi. It's a triple kill. It's a quadra kill for Shochi. Welcome back to Proving.
Welcome for real to the Academy stream. We're all, I think, still friends here on the analyst desk. Fortunately, we did ultimately figure out that unfortunately No Org did have to drop out of the tournament, so they will not be playing. That means we have no Path to LCS stream, but here at Academy, we've got the analyst desk. My name is, of course, Hawk. I will be your host today, and joining me is the one and only veteran, and we've got the legendary C9 Avril. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. Glad we got that all done. I'm sad about my boy Fire. I was so hyped to see him last week. At least I got to see him on stage for 3 games, you know? At least I got to see that.
Yeah, for sure. It's always good to get to see them. It really is unfortunate situations, of course, but we do what we can here, and that's no matter because we do still have some really awesome games queued up for you all today. Of course, here on the PGCQ tournament, this is the group stage, second day of group stage, meaning that teams are currently fighting in the double elimination group stage bracket for their rights to move on to the quarterfinals happening next week on Tuesday. Here on day number 3 of the group stage, we do have some pretty good matchups planned out for you all today. Starting with Group A, we have Area of Effect Esports taking on Team Pending in the match to move out of the group. And I mean, it's just going to be a very, very exciting one. And the loser, of course, will go down and face Tempest Gaming for one last chance to escape. Meanwhile, in Group B, we have 100 Thieves next, Large, NoOrg, and Taco Gaming. Of course, NoOrg did indeed drop out, but that will constitute our second match of the day, which will, of course, be Taco Gaming up against Large for the right to move out of the group in that elimination match. Over in Group C and Group D, we'll have those matches for you guys tomorrow as well. Things are definitely shaking out with Cincinnati Fear, AOE Ginger Turmeric, EG Prodigies, and Maryville all slated to move out, with AOE Random, CLG Faith, DK Crew, and Supernova fighting for their lives. But as previously mentioned, we are covering those Groups A and B games today. So, Area of Effect Esports up against Team Pending, and Taco Gaming up against Large. Avril, I'm just going to go straight to you. What are we making of these matchups today? All right, Avril's muted. We're going to get that figured out. Veteran, I'm going to go to you first. What are we feeling?
I mean, it's the return of my absolute favorite logo, the only actual Da Vincian masterpiece presence among all of this trash. The TBA logo. Very happy to see the smileys back on my screen. The AOE Esports versus TBA. I mean, this looks to me to be a very interesting matchup, because a lot of it for me will come down to this jungle matchup. And you know me, I love to focus on junglers, especially in early game scenarios. And these guys have some very interesting dynamics that are going to mix and match and contrast very significantly over the course of the 2, potentially 3 games today.
Yeah, absolutely. It really should be exciting. But before we get too deep on into that matchup, we will talk about that in just a bit. We got some time, and you know, we like to have fun here on the Academy stream, and I spent some time deciding to put together a little game show for you all. So today on the Academy stream, we will have Veteran competing up against Avril, and then our guest Colomer later on today in a little bit of trivia. And you out there in the chat as well, if you guys know the answers to these questions, throw them down in the chat and see if you can prove that you're smarter than all of us. But I put together 15 questions that we're going to be going through throughout the day. Might be formatted somewhat similarly to a popular game show that you guys know at home. But we have 3 categories, each with 5 questions. The first category is New Kids on the Block, which is all about the rookie players that we have here in PGCQ 2022. The entire circuit, that is. We also have Today on Academy, which will cover the 4 teams specifically that are playing on stream. So once again, Area of Effect, Team Pending, Taco Gaming, and Large. And then our final category will be Prehistoric Times. So we're going to go through and do 1 question from each category during each break that we do have, starting with New Kids on the Block. So if we can pull up that first question here, I want to test your guys' knowledge. All right, I got a bit of an easy one for you guys to start it off. This 2022 rookie has accrued the most championship points across the entire year. So spring and summer, this rookie has placed the best on average throughout the year in the PGCQs. Avril, I'm gonna go to you first. Who do we got?
Hold on, is my mic working?
Yes. We
Oh
can
my
hear
god,
you.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's all good. It happened. We're happy now. We can hear your beautiful voice. So, what are we? Which rookie are we taking right now?
I totally understood the question, and yes.
more than fair. So, Veteran, what about you? Do you have a rookie? So a player that is playing for the first time in PGCQ this year, which one accrued the most championship points? Championship points being the ones that are accrued for placements at PGCQ 1 and 2 throughout the spring and summer.
Yeah, it has to be General Sniper, right?
General Sniper, okay, pretty solid guess. And Avril going with yes. And it is going to be General Sniper. That is the player that has accrued the most championship points. Like I said, maybe a little bit of a softball to start it out, but General Sniper, of course, top laner for 100 Thieves next, making his rookie debut this year, and looking pretty dang good while he's at it. Right, you guys had that one, but I'm gonna get you ready. For maybe a little bit of a harder one.
You guys, one of us had this one, okay?
Oh,
The other
Okay,
one-
okay,
Yes,
listen,
yes. I've
give
never
me
even
some
heard
slack.
of a player called Yes, okay?
Give me some slack. I am literally so scatterbrained right now. Okay, this question, I got it. I got it.
All right, Avril, you're locking in. All right, I'm believing in it. This one's a little bit more unorthodox, maybe. Today on Academy for 400 points. That last one for 400 points. Area of Effect Esports has this many Canadians on its starting roster.
4.
Alright.
2.
We got 4. We got 2. Veteran, you're looking pretty good. It is indeed 4. Do you know the one player that's not Canadian on AOE?
Yes, I do. You could tell by the gameplay.
Oh.
It's Young,
Oh
the mid
no.
laner.
Is that a good? Is playing like a Canadian a good thing or a bad thing?
I'll leave it to you to decide.
Oh no. All right. Well, that's fair. That's fair. Oh. Well, we're gonna pretend that maybe being playing like a Canadian's a good thing, and that just means that Young, he's gonna smurf it one day and prove us all wrong. But last category for right now, prehistoric times for 200 points. All right, Avril, you gotta get this one for me. All right.
I will.
I believe.
Team Polymer. You
Yeah.
got this.
Team Avril Colmer. Which current PGCQ player swept the 2021 Proving Grounds Tier 2 circuit as a member of Wildcard Red? Avril, I'll go to you first.
Maniac, I guess. I'm just gonna throw a name out there. He was part of Wildcard Red, right?
I'll give you guys a hint. They are playing today. On stream. They're playing today on stream. Veteran, what about you? Do you have a guess? I'll come back to you, Avril.
Okay. I have no idea. I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm gonna guess a random player that plays today. Okay, so Zamudo? I don't know.
Okay, we got Zamudo from Veteran. What about you,
I have
Avril?
another
Do you have a
guess.
guess? Yeah?
Lynx?
Lynx? All right. I finally got you both with one. It is actually Winnie. It's Winston. Was the jungler for Wildcard Red and Proving Grounds 2021 Summer throughout the entire circuit, and they swept every tournament except, of course, for main stage Proving Grounds, where they still placed pretty high, highest placing amateur team. So shout out Winnie for his performance last year in Proving Grounds, and I think that segues us perfectly into this first slate of games, because I think Winnie is still getting a lot of credit for his performance this year on Area of Effect Esports. As Veteran, I know you in particular really wanted to highlight the jungle matchup that we have between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the case of Winnie, he's actually had significant development between this split and last split. Last split, I definitely viewed him much more as like Skytech's little puppy, and if Skytech was doing nice map movements into enemy jungle, then Winnie was there to join him and had good follow-up, but he didn't seem to have his own agency. This split, watching his games, he seems to have a very reactive early game style that reminds me more of like a younger version of say how Yankos likes to play on G2. He's always there to fix lane states. He will immediately make the decision to peel off of camps or whatever he's doing for the benefit of his team. And these are decisions he himself is making himself. And he's also reacting to improper palming by enemy jungler very, very well. So a lot more agency coming out of Winnie in the very, very early game. He's turning into much more his own complete player, and that's going to contrast dramatically with how Kitsuo likes to play early game as well. I'm very interested to see how that clash goes.
Right, and so, you know, Winnie becomes such a facilitator, it feels like, for his team, where Kitsuo maybe can be a little bit more of an aggressive playmaker, it sounds like you're saying?
Well, I'm thinking Kitsuo, for me, definitely, even though it's not like he abandons his team in early game, he plays a much more efficient style of jungle where he's very conscious he himself can be the guy to make those plays in skirmishes around neutral objectives later on, and he seems to play for that. Whereas Winnie's like, what will be on that so long as I get my team ahead, and plays very aggressively at an earlier point because of it. I think there's a point after the initial Herald's done where Winnie suddenly plays very heavily around topside this game. Kitsuo plays as if his team's going to be 5-on-5 on the next fight, and he's the guy that's going to make the decisive play for it. So you could say it's selfish versus selfless, but I ultimately view it as two junglers thinking there's a different way for them to play for their team. Kitsuo wants to make sure that he is going to be the best engager and set up for his team that he can be, whereas Winnie thinks his team is going to be good enough to carry him all the way through the rest of the game.
Right, no, and that creates a really interesting dynamic. I like that you bring that up, too, because something we've really been talking about with Team Pending throughout the entire year, it feels like, including the three players with their CLOL win on UST just a couple months ago is their prowess in team fighting. And I feel like finding those clutch engages, having a clutch playmaker like Kitsuo really does help a lot. And particularly looking down towards the bottom lane, Avril, this is maybe your area of expertise. Masu and Chuki's down on the bottom side, a bottom lane that's maybe been getting a little bit of attention, particularly for their ability to team fight well.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Honestly, I'm more excited to see Lynx play. I think he's really good, and every time I play solo queue with him, I always give him ADC when I get autofill. Oh, when he gets autofill support, because I know he's a better player than me.
Wow, high praise for Lynx. I mean, you did pick him as your option for player that smurfed 2021 summer. So
I did, but I also did not know Winston name change from Winston to Winnie. That is a recent.
It is, and I'm pretty sure the reasoning, for anyone that is curious, the reasoning behind this name change, to my understanding, is that all of the rest of the players on AOE had like shorter names or something like that, and he wanted his name to match the length of everybody else's name, so he rebranded to Winnie, which is
I like that. That is very cute. Respect.
Yeah. It's very aesthetic. It's very aesthetic. It's come across for sure.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you need any illustration for how good of a teammate Winnie maybe he's even willing to change his name to fit the aesthetic.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Can you ask for a better teammate? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like you can't, because Winnie so frequently, as Veteran said, is able to get his team ahead. And I like that you bring up Lynx and Skytech as well, because it feels like this bottom lane of AOE, and partially to the point that Veteran made as well, is a lot more willing to abandon the bottom lane and play around these solo lanes. Because another name that came up in our trivia was Zamudo, top laner for AOE, a player that has turned a lot of heads so far in 2022 for his play. You know, starting off on third party in the spring, then getting picked up by Area of Effect Esports, coming into the summer, a very high caliber amateur team. What do we sort of make of his ability and his rise in the scene, Veteran?
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. You
go
by
ahead.
all means feel free to be Veteran for now.
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay, so it's really interesting seeing them pivot very heavily from playing mostly mid-bot, and especially Young plays very, very aggressively in the early phases of the game, to pivoting their entire game plan around whatever Zamudo appears to be playing. It made a lot of sense when he was playing on Riven, but for example, when he was playing on Gangplank, you still had them pivoting onto him, even though Gangplank allows you to pivot more towards your bot lane or towards the other side lane, whereas Young is left kind of on his own. Now we know it's because he's the only American there. And they will play heavily towards any Zamudo advantage that they can. Even if he doesn't have one, they'll create one for him. That appears to be the crux of their mid-game plan, and it can sometimes make them a lot slower on these team fights, which is the advantage that TBA were able to leverage against teams like CLG Faith in the last split. Question would be if they can do that again, and particularly against someone as aggressive as Young, and against someone who still plays as Zamudo does in the early phases, if they can survive against that onslaught.
You know, I feel like as an American, I should be offended by this slander, but I don't feel like I can argue with the guy that is from a region that has been to World's Finals twice. So I'm just going to take the L on this one. But Avril, any final thoughts on that point before we move into predictions?
You know, I really love the xenophobia in this stream, honestly. We are the Minnie Mouse region, so I agree with everything you're saying. And I really hope Zamudo, Zamudo plays Raven top this series. I don't think he's going to, but...
I view it more as the Canadians have their cool club that they like to play around, and they're like, oh yeah, Young, I guess you're here as well, you know? And Young's like, no, guys, wait for me. On the way.
Well, we'll see if the Canadian strength for Zamudo maybe can carry him through this game. But we got predictions. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. Avril, who you got? We got the caster predictions first. Sorry, those just flashed up on screen. But we can see we're actually pretty split on this first series. And then look at that, read and write taking large here. That's pretty spicy. The only one believing in large length giving strength. But here in the first series, Avril, who you got, AOE or Team Pending?
I am for sure rooting for Team AOE 2-0.
All right, AOE 2-0, the team that went 5-0 in the OQs, by the way. Veteran, what about you?
So I will say if my prediction is wrong, it's because Robbie Bob was able to take advantage of young aggression, but I think ultimately the way that Winnie is playing reactive to these lanes means that AoE are going to be a nightmare for TBA. Like, they have to be proven wrong. I remember these guys have pulled it out before.
All right, I can buy into that. I'm taking AoE too, but I'm going to take them 2-1. I think Team Pending's team fight can maybe pull them over the edge in just one game. As you said, if Robbie Bob and them are able to survive the lane, maybe, just maybe they got it. But I agree, 4 Canadians, better than none. I actually don't know how many Canadians Team Pending has. But either way, we're getting underway here for game number 1. Take it away, casters.
What's going on? Thank you so much, Hawk. My God, the Canadian praise is going crazy
I know.
right now.
As it should.
I was about to say, you must love to see it.
You know, too, when we were talking before going into this, I heard Hawk say Canadian. I came up real close to my computer. Yeah, Hawk? What do you have to say? And it was overwhelmingly positive. So, you know, we're good. We're chilling, Hawk, but I'm still watching you.
You
know
gotta choose
that.
your words wisely.
Very carefully. Veteran, I mean, he's going to say whatever he wants. I can't stop him.
Yeah, I mean, he sees himself as EU itself, right? So it's like, hey.
He is EU itself. We got to give him at least that, you know?
Yeah, we'll give him that. What's going on, though, ladies and gentlemen? I am Echo K, and I'm joined by the one, the only, illustrious, luscious, Beatdown Boulevard. How you feeling tonight, baby?
Oh, I'm feeling good with all that premium gas echo. Super excited.
sir.
We got, you know what? Even though we're still only on day 2 of group stage, we're already starting to see that Proving Grounds picture start to form. I'm talking Proving Grounds, the main tournament, what all these teams are playing for and have been for the last couple of months here. Now, I mean, the bigger implication is definitely in our second match, but even in this one, you got AOE Esports, you have Team Pending teams who are both already locked for top 10, but of course, you want to dodge the play-ins. You don't want to play against the lower placing academy teams, so you want to get to top 6 now. That is the goal for both these teams.
Yeah, and it's going to be a rough road to get there, and we saw already on the desk itself, the entire desk is pretty sure that AOE is going to be taking this thing home. I gotta say, I know we both actually ended up voting for TBA. My vote, definitely nothing to do with the fact that this appeared on my whiteboard this morning.
No, of course, you had no control over that.
I had no control of it. I was scared. I'm like, they must, look, they're trying to find me. Like, they know where I live. They know where my family lives.
It was a warning.
So, yeah, it was definitely a warning. But also just the fact that obviously, you know, there's some better implications there that, first of all, they had a very long time to prepare for this match. Like, they didn't have to play last time, obviously, since, you know, they were able to get that free win with Kittens dropping out of the tournament. Yeah. So they had a lot of time to prepare for this match, to scout it out, know exactly what they have to do. I will say, if Winnie gets the Gragas, I'm just going to instantly write production, change my
You're
vote.
going to go back to your whiteboard and just start scratching out
just like erase it as quick as I can. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, honestly, the Gragas game from Winnie did look really good last week. And overall, it's true. Even looking at the OQs, I did have some questions about how Team Pending were playing, but there's a lot to be valued over the time they've had over these last couple of weeks for them to be able to prep, for them to be able to focus this particular matchup. And I'm sure they've got something nice and cooked up ready for us to see on the day. And I mean, game 1, we have AOE on the blue side, and it's going to be Team Pending on the red side. And I'm excited to see what both these teams are going to be pulling out. We've already seen some pretty exciting things shake up here, especially now that Belveth is in the mix, even though she hasn't popped up too often. That'll be cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, you're going up against a team where self-proclaimed, right? If you remember way back a time 3 weeks ago, right, when we had the reveals, then they straight up self-proclaimed themselves. They asked, what was the X factor of this team of AOE? They said, we have Winnie, the king of amateur. That's
big.
That's a very big title to give yourself. So I'm curious to see if he's going to give us that showing today.
I think it's interesting too, because I talked to the coach of AOE just last night, and even in the previous tournament as well, Nutty. He was gracious enough to take the time, tell me about his team. And I think most recently, interestingly enough, he was talking about how, one, he feels his team is quite underrated. And I mean, to be fair, they have been doing exceptionally well across both tournaments. And I think now we're starting to see in the caster predictions more love thrown their way, because I think we have about a 50-50 split going on here. And it's funny that he said that about Winnie, because also both times I spoke to him, he says Young is the best mid in the tournament, and pound for pound, besides 100 Thieves Next, they believe they're better than every other roster in the PGCQ. And that's more bold words coming through here. I mean, given how they play, I think it's fair for them to be that kind of confident, and they got to keep it up if they want to make top 6.
Yeah. If I was gonna be toxic, I would say that,
Let's see.
area
Let's
of
see.
effect-
Come on, let it out.
you have like 3 teams, right? It's about time that you get a hit. Right? Like you're already going for
Yeah,
that
that's
monopoly,
cold.
right?
Yeah, true. It's surely if we make enough amateur. Yeah, I see. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I gotta give you that one. That was pretty funny. But I think we're getting word that we're going into draft pretty soon. Enough of us just vamping, talking about this, that, and the third. We're gonna be going in to see what these teams are gonna be picking, what these teams are gonna be prioritizing. There it is. How does he do it, Echo? Almost like someone's telling me these things.
Oh my god! I mean,
I
you're
know.
just a timing genius, my
Just
lord.
that guy.
How does he do it? He's got that. Yeah, you got that.
Just
third eye
talented.
going.
No, I got 4 of them. It's just so helpful.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, my bad. I might have to invest in a pair myself.
Yo, check yourself.
Send me the link where you got those. Get a chance. All right, but enough bantering around. Let's get into this thing. We got some bans already coming out here. AOE actually taking a ring off the board. Not something I really expected, but you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, this is Ivan Rengar is a thing TBA are very happy to pull out if it's available to them. They ran it in CLOL. It's brutal. So a lot of teams they're paying that respect. They're saying, you know what, Kitsuo, no cap for you. At least you don't get this one. So it makes a lot of sense here. And I imagine we're going to see more targets, probably either towards Kitsuo or Robbie Bob, who himself actually finds a lot of bans thrown towards him here on the side of TBA. And even when they were also in CLOL as University of St. Thomas.
Yeah, and also you got to remember they have a very strong core coming out from that UST team as well. Right. That was over at, I believe, Gateway Legends, where, if I'm not mistaken, they placed 2nd. I might be wrong on that. I think they placed 2nd.
I know they. I'm not quite. I can't quite remember where they placed the Gateway Legends, but it's worth noting they did win CLOL a couple of months ago, or rather, I guess a month ago at the beginning of June, and that was a big deal for them as well. We do have 3 out of 5 players, of course, as we always highlight with this team. And I think on that note too, Topo and Masu being new additions have been really interesting. Talking to the other players of TBA, Kitsuo, Robbie, they talk about how Topo has been improving quite a bit, fits to the roster really well, and how Masu, they both say he's just a beast. This dude hasn't played on any organized team up until, well, he joined Team Pending, and he's actually been having really strong, really solid performances so far.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see it, right? You bring someone new in and they just perform amazingly, slots right in with these battle-hardened veterans. And I think that is also why we looked at those caster predictions. It's so incredibly kind of, it's like a 50-50 basically, because it's like TBA, especially with that kind of, I wouldn't say upset, but performed a lot better than we expected in the last PG. They did a very good job, and so you never really know what to expect from them. They're always looking to just surprise you. That smiley face, the frown never turns upside down.
That's right. And you know what? Veteran talked about it on the desk too with this roster, how early game is going to be the problem for them here, especially against AOE Esports. But if they get to those later stages, the team fights, that is where we see them shine. And that's the big thing we highlight with this roster. And I mean, on the other side here, AOE, I mean, Nutty, it wasn't all just gas when he's talking about how Powerbound, he has a lot of really good players on his roster. I think the solo laners are something we highlight quite a bit with this team. Of course, we were talking about Winnie in the jungle matchup overall. And I think a lot of people have eyes on Zamudo because he's a player who has been around for a little bit, hasn't been on any really high tier teams or anything along this, anything of the sorts in amateur, but this is probably the best team that he has been on, has a lot to prove, and has been improving so much up until this point.
Yeah, in fact, even during the reveal show, right, Calamar, who's going to be on a bit later today, gave him a lot of very high praise. Talking about just his consistency in the top lane, where the top lane pool currently it's a little not shallow in the sense, but you're always looking for these pop-up players, and Zamudo was definitely one of those that we need to keep eyes on. Gotta just pay him that respect, honestly. But first couple of picks coming out here already, we do see the Kalista actually getting locked in, and the response being to get Felios. Okay, they just pick up the bot lane right away. Okay, that's 8-man.
Yeah, and already we're seeing Masu. It's interesting too because Masu, we praise him a lot for being good on the safe picks, the Ezreals, the Sennas, things like that. But since this tournament started, he's been on the more hyper carry picks, things like Twitch, and now we're seeing the Aphelios come through as well here. And it's being paired with the Renata, something we usually see come through with the Kalista, and that's a big takeaway. One, because that's a really dangerous and dominant bot lane, and now you have some of that extra pressure for your bot lane, and you give Masu that time and space to be able to scale and get to that late game where we know Aphelios is a nightmare.
Yeah, no, it's like a truck to say the absolute.
Sure does.
Yeah, it's scary to see. That being said, though, as well,
talk to me about it. I know what you want to say. Let me hear it.
No, they gave him the Gragas.
They gave him the
Gragas.
Why
would you give him the Gragas? No.
It's honestly, to TV's credit, Gragas isn't like the most popular pick right now, especially in the jungle, because that is where we're expecting it to go through. I believe in 2 games last week, we saw Winnie pilot this champion, and I mean, with really good performances here. And wow, the Cho'Gath response in the top lane is an interesting one. I haven't seen Topo play that one in particular, but I mean, he is a good frontliner here, especially with something like the Ornn taken away. You get those fee stacks lined up, Echo, and you got a big boy on the screen.
Oh yeah, big boy indeed.
Big chunky
you can
boy.
Get those secure, exactly. Get those champ secures. You get those objective secures as well. Just with
That's
the Devourer
true.
itself, it's always nice to see. You got that double smite combo basically going on. I'm very interested to see actually though Zamudo on this Ornn. Obviously with the GP being picked away from him, which he loves so much, especially with that alt right, can just cause so much chaos and just basically be everywhere on the map. And seeing him now in a more sort of very tanky engage to see, I want to see how he performs.
I'm interested as well, because we usually do see Zamudo play things more like the Jace, like the Gangplank and things like that, and not as much on the Ornn, but I mean, it is just a really valuable pick overall. Like, we all know how good it is. We've been talking about it for as long as it's been good, which is who knows how long. It's ridiculous. It's good. It disengage, engage. That ultimate is ridiculous. Being able to buff up items also really helps with the fact that, I mean, Kalista, you know, we know she falls off a little bit later on, and getting that little extra bit of stats at value is something really nice for her.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm actually really liking this Amumu ban coming out actually from TBA. Since they're most likely assuming, right, Winnie is going to be the one piloting that Gragas, they want to take away that Amumu, as that we've seen actually a lot of Amumu support coming out now. And it's one of those very aggressive supporters, and especially when you already picked the Kalista, you're basically signaling like, I'm going to stomp your head into the pavement in this bot lane. That's what I'm going to look to do.
Is that Morg locked in?
It is.
Is that Morg? So is that, what is that? Is that Morg jungle? What's okay? Well, TVA really throwing us through a loop here on 4.
Okay.
That could technically go mid. It could technically go jungle. I mean, her clear did get nerfed when Morg jungle was super popular, and I don't think it's popped back up. But we'll just put that on the side for the moment here. Seraphine most likely going into Skytech's hands for AOE Esports would really add to the team fight that AOE already has going for them here. And it does seem like so far you're really setting yourself up for links on this Kalista, which means that, you know, a lot of early game, you're going to have some pressure on the bot side, and you get the Irelia for Young, which he also smurfed on last week.
Oh, yeah. He's looking dangerous. I want to imagine that when TBA picked that Morgana, they just kind of all did the smiley face and just looked straight into the camera like, yeah, we just did that. We just did that. The Renekton is being hovered.
No.
Oh, well, okay. They're locking it. So
it's Cho mid.
Cho mid?
It's Cho mid. No?
Or
it's Cho top. Oh, it's Renekton. Okay.
Ah.
All right. Okay, so that one is interesting. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've ever seen Robbie Bob play Renekton, so that's a really spicy one that they've had in the back pocket, especially because, honestly, one concern I've had with this roster is how much you look at the bans. So much get thrown Robbie's way, and when things like the Victor and Corki aren't available, sometimes he does start to struggle. But now you have this where it's a matchup you can overcome Young, especially on a champion he does so well on, and that can give you that early game priority that you're likely looking for. The Morg jungle for Kitsuo is the most interesting one for me because it's popped up basically out of nowhere because it's been a long time since it's been particularly popular, and that does offer you a lot of wave clear. You do have a good amount of CC, and the thing I think is kind of nice about it also, that spell shield may come in handy as well with so much CC on AOE Esports side. You can have that little bit of extra protection on Masu when you're in these team fights, because I mean, let's look at this comp. Like, this is the Masu show.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And like you were saying, I definitely feel that Black Shield is going to be so incredibly pivotal.
For sure.
Seeing as some of the, obviously, the abilities that do come out from AOE Esports, right? If you're able to utilize that to, let's say, in one case, maybe keep Masu safe from an ultimate coming out from Skytech, from the stun coming out from Young, from the cast coming out from Winnie, that will be absolutely huge if you manage to have them burn that.
For sure. Now, the thing that's most interesting is that jungle, of course, is going to be very important here. They're both going to have a lot of impact on how things are going to go. But these comps, really, they're setting up for their bot laners to succeed here, especially in this early game. A lot of priority should be put around links on this Kalista. You have this priority, should give you that space to be able to stack dragons, get these early advantages. And for Team Pending, you're just trying to chill. You're trying to minimize your losses in this early game, get to a point where Masu is very strong, use Robbie Bob's priority to give Kitsuo an easier time clearing, an easier time potentially going for these invades, because he's going to have his mid laner moving with him.
Yeah, and it's nice to see Kitsuo, obviously, he's expecting that to happen. It's going to be most likely starting top as well, work his way down. And honestly, with the Dark Binding, that gives them huge potential as well to just get a gank going up like level 3, level 4 and try and find something, especially if they can land it onto, for example, Skytech. Doesn't have that much tech, dare I say, to kind of get out of a sticky spot.
Right, and already we got a little bit of scrapping coming through on this bottom side of the map. And I mean, looking at where the junglers are starting, this is kind of in line with what we were expecting too, Echo. Like, they're playing for bot side. They're going to basically clear towards the bottom side of the map, have a bit of a skirmish for that Scuttle Crab. And I think that's where what Young and Robbie are going to be able to do in this early levels is going to matter. You see them fighting for the advantages, trying to get level 2 first so you can get that lead and aid your jungler in the fight for the first crab.
Yep. Robbie Bob already looking to put some of the pressure onto Young here. It's going to be very interesting to see how these two look to play it out. Young already saw his performance on the Aurelia I think it was I'm not sure if it was last week. I'm just flies at this point when
Aurelia,
I'm just
yeah, that was last
on the
week.
next game. Yeah, last week, exactly. And he was looking incredibly dangerous on it once you give him that first 1 or 2 kills. Overall, we have to wait and see how that ends up panning out.
Yeah, things are going to be slow for the moment, I imagine. Once we get to that Scuttle Crab in just under a minute's time, that's where things are going to break down here for both of these teams. As Topo in the top lane, we do normally see him as more of a tank player. Seeing him on the Cho'Gath is definitely a new one, at least across these 2 tournaments. But it is going to be an interesting one, especially for the player. Again, we highlighted, really shown improvement, said by the team members of Team Pending. A player who's been around for quite a long time, hasn't had the opportunity to really shine, really show what he's able to do. And I think he's finally found that in Team Pending.
Yeah, it's nice to see as well, finding those opportunities, make yourself known, get your name out there, especially when you're performing so incredibly consistently and looking so good. Looking for something? Nah, okay. I was curious. Chucky was like chilling at that wall. He's like, "Ooh, maybe we find something here."
Just maybe. But no, so far it's just going to be that bot pressure, that push for Team Pending, as it's going to be a pretty easy Scuttle secure as well for Kitsuo. You see the full clear come through, the Scuttle is done. He even has time to look for that gank if he wants to, or just recall and get himself back out onto the map here. We see him path and bot. He's interested, Echo. He's looking.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely looking. Wave, maybe not in the most optimal state, though. And yeah, I think he's realizing that. So both junglers here are going to opt to go ahead, hit that back, grab some extra items. You want those Zamudo? He's a little bit careful getting lower and lower.
Just a little bit, but so far we have a pause coming through, so you're back to us stalling for just, talking, excuse me, for just a couple of seconds here. A little stalling. Who needs to stall? It's definitely our fault. Casters start the game or whatever the meme is. But so far things have been real quiet. You see both junglers go for the full clear. Of course, Kitsuo does get that Scuttle Crab. Winnie wisely backs off and decides he's just going to go maybe fight for the top one. But you already see Robbie using that bit of vision that they've gotten for themselves here. And I think this early game has been going decently well for TBA. You're kind of getting what you want here. Kitsuo is the one getting to walk into the river more often. And at this point, it's just keeping that pressure on so you can allow Masu to scale up.
Yeah, and at the same time, you go to the flip side, right? And I'm really hoping that in this next couple of 1 to 2 minutes, we see AOE look to make something happen, right? Maybe if Young can land a stun here onto Robbie Bob, something like that, get something going. Because, like we said, obviously TBA wants to just chill for a minute, scale up, and get that pressure rolling. But if they get that completely denied, then that's going to not necessarily take them out of the game, but it's going to throw them off a little bit from the goal that they're looking to achieve.
Right. You look at the other side too in AOE Esports, even though the onus is definitely a little more on them in this early game to make things happen, they have a lot of tools for that. Once we get another minute or two later into the game, which as I got word, we're going back in game right now. Once the level 6s come through, Echo, once the ultimates come out, things like the Encore from Skytech, that exploding cask from Winnie, and of course, the ever mouthful of a Call of the Forge God from Zamudo. So many team fight tools ready to go here that AOE Esports surely are going to take advantage of.
Yeah, definitely. I'm shaking a little bit just imagining being a Team Pending.
I know,
player.
it's scary.
Like one of those if you get hit, let's say with the Encore, right, then you get hit with Young Stun, then you get hit with the class, then you get hit with the Call of the Forge God, and you're just standing there please, I'd like to play this game, beat down anything.
No,
Robbie
you
Bob,
can't.
Was trying to see if he can maybe get Young to not play the game anymore and go to that gray screen, but not quite gonna find it just yet. That's that damage. Kitsuo maybe gonna look for something here.
Now the wave is coming in clutch, so no Dark Binding over the wall, but overall, this is what you were hoping for, Robbie Bob. And now We have the invade as well from Winnie. I think he spots some chicken nuggets that he's going to be able to grab for himself here because Kitsuo took the time to look for something, to look for the invade, maybe a play over the wall. But of course, making use of that CC is what you want to be doing here on this champ.
Yeah, Kitsuo, I'll wait for a little bit, realizing something might be going down. Gonna instead opt to make his way down to the bot lane, but does get spotted out by that ward. Already seeing Link Skytech gonna back off. Nothing quite gonna come out of that one. That's definitely gonna give some more info over to Winnie. Now he knows exactly what's going down. He's got a bit more time.
And I mean, that's just good warning from Skytech and Lynx. It's the fact that you know this is Morgana is going to be looking between clears to lock people down, making sure even if you don't have eyes on her specifically, making sure you have an idea on when she is showing up to your lane here. With this first dragon being up, nobody is really going for it at the moment. Everybody happily farming things away. What I thought was going to be a scrappier early minutes of game 1 is, well, we're at minute 6 and no kills, Echo.
Yeah, a little bit surprised. We do see that level 6 obviously coming out right from Young and Robbie Bob. Both of those having that up definitely makes things a lot more volatile, and now they can actually look to also impact these other lanes. And look at that, we already see Young perhaps making his way down, but I don't know if he's gonna even make it there in time. A lot of trading coming out here. Actually do pop that bailout just to be safe, so that's gonna be down for a minute. Winnie's here as well, not quite level 6. I'm not sure how close he is. They could get that cast. Oh, he doesn't even need it. Young's here as well, and they're setting up a huge dive. They're gonna look to find something here. Nice little double stun coming out though. Vanguard's head gets dropped right onto Chucky's, taking him lower and lower down. He goes double kill
nice and easy
for Young, and he gets on out of there like it's nothing.
It's huge. It's Young who's the one who's able to get out of lane and find that huge dive opportunity there. It's great timing from Winnie as well, and you get 2 kills onto the Irelia. The champ Young did so well on last week, and it's AOE Esports who make the first move, and it's team pending. You can see them just grasping to see what they can get in exchange, but it's looking like it's simply a blue buff for the lives of their bot lane.
Yeah, you know, you get something at least. You get that. Oh, I don't even think he's gonna get it though. Maybe.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Oh, he's going for that double, and you see the pings coming out already. And when he's like, "Excuse me, you do know that this is my jungle." A lot of damage coming out. Smite as well though, and now Winnie gets to back off. No one really there just yet to back him up. Gets hit with that dark binding. He's just stuck for so long.
Oh, he's 6.
But actually gets that heal from the Grump, and that should keep him in a good spot. Meanwhile, in that top lane, actually, Topo doing top lane things and taking out Zamudo. And now Winnie needs to be careful. Flash coming out, and is going to go down. Topo. Whoa, Topo.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, it's going down. Just it's a little too close again to that turret. Goes down. Robbie Bob in a terrible position. The flawless duet is going to land. Robbie Bob trying his best to escape. Flash coming out from Kitso to try and land.
He's
the dark
getting
binding.
low. Oh, the
bailout though.
The
to
bailout.
Keep him alive. You got to get a kill right now, Robbie Bob, if you want to stay in this fight.
Fight or die.
Find it though. Tech. Number 2, the turret. They hit him with a dark binding though. The encore coming out as well. Turret damage is huge. Is he big? Won't quite find it. Chookies will still go down. And so overall, there's that scrappiness we were looking for.
Right on cue, Echo. Right when we were talking about it. Huge fights coming through here. It ends up being team pending, getting a little bit more back for what they lost on the bot side. It is beneficial for them, but it was a scrappy one. Now Kitsuo is pretty sure he's done.
Smite. Oh,
he lives. Wow.
He lives. And there was that black shield again, right? It actually shielding away the body slam, allowing Kitsuo to get out of that one alive by like just a knife's edge is going to keep that 300 gold to his chest.
Yeah, we're going to go back to the replay. See basically how this one went down. At first, we thought Kitsuo was trapped in here with Winnie, but clearly it was the other way around. Once he secures the blue buff, of course, because Robbie already had that wave shoved in, he had the first move by a country mile. And TVA, they don't run from these situations, Echo. They just keep on pushing, and they managed to make it happen. It was longer than they would have hoped, and definitely scrappier. But the big thing, too, is that Topo gets the solo kill onto Zamudo, making sure the Ornn cannot assist. So because of, in response to that double kill, TVA do get more than what they lost.
Yeah, definitely. Ah, it's so sad to see that Topo so close, doesn't quite get out of there. Robbie Bob with the dash to slice and dice, gets the stun, and then that huge flash that came in from Kitso to get right on top of Young. They take him out, almost getting that second kill to keep Robbie Bob alive, but don't quite find it. Skytech, even though he does still, you know, he gets that hit there, it was still really cool to see. Hits him with the encore, a lot of damage coming out. Turret damage diff, dare I say, and ended up still getting Chukies.
Yeah, and I mean, now we're going back to live. It looks like we had a little bit of something go on here. Vanguard's edge comes out. It's looking like the dragon did end up being secured by team pending, and they walk away with that with no casualties. So that's a dub. We take those. You can see that the gold is honestly pretty close here. It's only a difference of 700, but it's worth noting a lot of the gold on AoE does go the way of Young on the side Relia, and we are looking for AOE to play for him, set him up, especially in the side lane, because he's going to be a really powerful duelist, especially as time goes on.
Yep, time goes on, he's gonna get more scarier and scarier. Speaking of scary, Link's trying to find something here, but I'm not coming out just yet. Regardless, though, Winnie slowly but surely making his way on into the area. Maybe we look to see something here, but Wave probably won't be at right state just yet to look for some kind of gank. I don't believe. Oh, he does have the cask available, so he does have his ulti. Definitely make something happen with that repositioning power.
The timing's not quite there, though. So I think he's going to show up for maybe the wave bouncing back, but of course he's going to be spotted by the pink ward. They do have the information, and it's just going to be a potential play in the mid lane because Kitsuo is here. Okay, that's it's just a little hey, how are you? But Winnie's also wants to say hello.
Yep, they're looking for something, and they're looking to just dash right onto Kitsuo, and he doesn't have that black shield because he used it on Robbie Bob. Goes down like it's nothing, grabbing themselves that free little shutdown as well.
Okay, that's a little unfortunate, especially because Winnie did show on that pink ward. They did have an idea he was on that side of the map, so them getting caught out is, I think, a bit of a slip there, but it's a nice capitalization from Winnie on this Gragas, who we say is something he's been able to perform really well on. It continues to show, and it's AOE Esports who find themselves in this small lead. Of course, a lot of gold is on Skytech on the Seraphine, but still a lead nonetheless, especially because Young is in a pretty good spot, especially how these early game minutes go. That is a big deal for AOE.
Yeah, Young is more. I feel like Young is more than happy to just slowly but surely accrue that lead. Right? Don't need it all. You don't gotta blow it all right at the start. Just slowly compounding your wealth. You know, sooner or later, Young's gonna.
Yeah, that's the big thing here. And the question ends up being, can Team Pending make sure Masu is unkillable? Because realistically, if you look at how the lane's been going, there's a slight gold lead for Lynx, but it's honestly nothing to write home about. It's not that big a deal. So as long as Masu can keep up the way he has been so far, he will be in a strong position. And it's still going to be, how can Team Pending, TBA, manage to protect this 80 carry so that he can win these team fights for them?
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, to be honest, that we didn't see as much, I feel, go down bot lane as we expected, really, you know, with that Kalista being picked up, with that Seraphine as well. But I mean, just a lot of good warding coming out right from T-Pending has been keeping Winnie at bay, and he just hasn't been able to actually get into any kind of position where he can get in there and just start doing some damage.
Still, there will be an opportunity soon here, especially when the next dragon comes up in about 1 minute and 45 seconds. Oh, we have a fight top lane?
Yeah, indeed. Winnie on his way here as well, but just can't quite find much there. Topo is just going to back off. He's just going to show himself to give some more info. Kitsuo chilling in this mid lane, looking for that opportunity. I think Young knows, something's up. Like, why is Robbie Bob being so aggressive here?
Yeah, and it's honestly good sense from Young to be able to just back off, not get hit by the stun, but now they want to run it back.
They get hit with the stun this time around, though. Vanguard does get dropped, but Robbie Bob does so much damage. They will at least get that return on the Kitsuo. Can Robbie Bob get it?
Oh, the stopwatch!
Let's go! That's a huge beatdown he gave him. The I just went gold treatment.
Oh, that's a tilter. That is a tilter. Winnie, nicely timed, perfectly timed stopwatch, you could say. Ends up securing the double kill. And you can see it, Kitsuo putting a lot of pressure on this mid lane, trying to put Young down, but it's just not quite panning out the way that they wanted to. You can see it again. Good sense from Young to avoid the play, recognizing Robbie. He wants to get in there for something. And it turns out with Winnie sprinting his way through here, Predator ready to go, means that they had the opportunity to just turn this one around, even though Robbie did get one.
Yeah, that flash body slam, love to see it. And it's always nice to see that they are so incredibly conscious about when that black shield's down, because we keep talking about how incredibly critical it is going to be in all these fights, and we keep seeing it. The moment it is down, that's when they look to engage. Oh, that's so... King of amateur right there.
Yeah, true. Clearly trying to earn his title there with plays like that one. And now as we look at the total gold here, you can see Winnie is at number 1 on the side of AOE Esports. But it's worth noting the mid-jungle of TBA are doing a pretty good job. And I mean, this is what I was talking about too. If you look down at the 80 carries, only a 300 gold difference between Lynx and Masu. And that's why I think Team Pending are still not in the most terrible of spots, especially if they're able to secure the second dragon that you can see AOE are starting to posture for.
Yeah, and with Robbie Bob as well, grabbing that Blade of the Ruin King, where we saw the amount of damage he's able to output. So he's definitely still in this thing. He can contend with a lot of the heavy hitters of AOE Esports, but they just need to find that right kind of opportunity to actually get in there. And right now, AOE Esports, man, they are not moving. They are holding that flat of ground like their life depends on it. And really, the drag definitely depends on it. The Lies, I think they could probably still take this fight, even if they wanted to. But it's nice to see that they're humble.
Yeah, and I mean, you're just waiting. Time is good for Young because he's waiting for that Vanguard's Edge that's almost coming off of cooldown to Team Pending. They're looking like they want to try and start something now. You do have the Devourer from Topo. That does mean you have the chance to be able to secure this one pretty reliably as TBA.
Definitely still looking for something here. There we go. The call, the fourth god going in. It's going to hit on Chuki's down. He goes. A huge hostile takeover, though. Might be big. Young goes down in return.
Asu's still alive.
It's not finding anything just yet. Topo is still up and running. So far, only Chukis and Kitsu will have gone down, so that smite will be off the table. But Topo doesn't have that Devour either, and he needs to be very careful. Getting lower and lower. Zamudo doing his best to just hold them off. They're going to look to just grab this turret, dragon, and T-Penny realizing they can't win this.
Yeah, you let that one go. You lose your jungler. No smite means, or the Cho'Gath ultimate there, it means that you don't really have the opportunity to be able to secure that one. So you walk away, and you're kind of okay with the 1-for-1, especially because Masu is the one who ends up picking up the kill. And it's good that Team Pending don't try to, overextend and lose too much here. It's not the most critical thing that they actually secure that Dragon Soul. I think time still is on their side. So now the big thing you want to be doing is looking towards that second Rift Herald. You already see the pings coming through. You already see Chookies setting up for it, clearing vision, doing what they can. Because that Herald breaking open this mid-tier 1, kind of opening up the map a little more from Team Pending is what they want.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they need those avenues kind of to get around AOE Esports, I feel like. Because we just saw here, like, if you're just staring them down, AOE Esports has no problem doing that. So Zamudo walks up and he's like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. You fell for my trap. Come to me.
Yeah, that's literally the big thing. Like, Oren's happy if you're going to be walking into him here. Overall, I mean, with that Herald secured, now it's in Kitsuo's hands. Now they have a lot of options to be able to do it again. I think mid is the one. Right now, you see this kind of split map coming through here as the invade of the bottom side of the map is there. They have Topo kind of all on his own. So he can smell what's going on here. He may need to back off and respect the fact that that tower's not his. Can't actually do anything.
Yeah, no, nothing you can really do there. Kitsuo, meanwhile, is here. Hit him with the Dark Binding, looking to find something. He's going to go for that one-on-one with Zamudo here. Chains of Corruptions get dropped, but the dash from Zamudo to get on out of there. But they do get him slightly lower. Meanwhile, though, in this mid lane, getting lower and lower, very close. Actually, Winnie's still picking up that kill into Chukis. He's looking for the body slam. He gets it, and the king will take his seat at his throne. He's like, get these peasants out of here.
That's 6-1 for Winnie on the Gragas, and another successful play for AOE Esports. This is so big that they just continue on finding success, and more time off the map for Masu means that Lynx is chilling. He gets to farm for free, and there isn't really anyone who can oppose him with all the attention AOE Esports are giving him on the bottom side. And now, speaking of attention, Topo is getting quite a lot on his side. So he's trying to clear that wave as quick as he can.
Topo, clear the wave quick, but it doesn't even matter because they have so much damage. They're just gonna take out that turret. Down it goes. It doesn't matter how tanky Topo is. All he can do is sit there and take the abuse. It's a lot of damage out, but at the end of the day, will still fall. Just a desperation Devourer coming out, trying to find anything here, but ultimately is still gonna go down.
Yeah, and Team Pending kind of late to the party here, trying to see what they can get on the exit, but it's looking like it's just going to be a big, fat nothing here, especially with no one on the top side, with Topo being dead 20 more seconds, means you're going to be losing out on that top wave. You're just letting go of that golden XP, and you're going to lose this turret to Zamudo as well. So you're just bleeding all across the map for the side of Team Pending. And at this point, with 2 minutes till the next dragon, trying to secure control over the bottom side is what you're looking to do, but someone has to deal with that top wave.
Yep, definitely is looking like it's going to be Topo. Does have that TP available, so if needed, he can get on down. For now, is going to go and get rid of that. We saw Robbie Bob in that bot lane was looking to shove in the wave. Can't quite get the turret. It's still a bit too healthy for him, and also just doesn't want to be caught out. Obviously, with, like you said, that drag being up in a minute and a half, they need to look for something. Maybe find some kind of a picker going down, and then it's looking like they might be setting up for it. Kitsuo going to opt to go grab chickens real quick, and then head on back, see if he can find something.
And this one is hard too. Topo does have the teleport. Okay. Masu? Okay, he's not going to find anything.
Okay.
There's a good bit of damage though. The Topo on the other side of the map, he has a teleport, so it's all right for him to be staying up there. But Team Pending prefer to be at these neutral objective fights first, and it's looking like it's probably just better for them to forego this next dragon as well. They're not in a position to actually fight this one out, but Lynx says, hey, we can fight right now if you want.
Yep, he's more than happy to just start throwing hands whenever he wants. Oppo going down, meanwhile, is going to get met with Zamudo, though. Won't quite get the turret. It's going to get pretty low, and he's definitely doing a good job of relieving some of that pressure in the top lane here. It's going to be a minute now before AOE Esports Wave actually hits their own turret, but Drag is up in the 30 seconds, and we're already seeing some pivoting coming out. Of course, Young already shoving in that bot side, shoving in that wave, gonna give them a lot of prio there, and then just head right back to the Dragon. Lynx needs to be careful. I think they understood the assignment. They need to find some kind of pick. They need to be careful.
Yeah, and the thing is, because there's so much attention on Masu, making sure that he can farm this mid wave safely, they're pulling numbers from Team Pending to this mid lane, and that puts them in this position where they're always behind on side waves. As you see it, Dragon's up in 4. Robbie can only basically clear that last bot wave. It's still not in a great spot for them here, but Team Pending, they can't afford for him to take any longer here because you don't want to be face checking against this comp. Team Pending might have the pinch.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for that. Call the Fortune God coming out. Robbie Bog is in the thick of things. Hostile takeover gets dropped as well. A lot of damage coming out. This might just be the fight that they need to win this thing. Young goes down. That's one. Robbie Bob, the ultimate sacrifice.
That's a big shutdown.
But they get Winnie.
Oh, Masu wants it.
Let's go, baby. Gonna get himself a pick there onto Lynx as well. And some Skytech and Zamudo. But the only two that are able to get out of that one alive. But that's exactly what they needed, right? They found that great positioning. They box them in. They grab the kill. And are they just going to say, screw Jag, we're just going to start this Baron, actually?
I mean, they don't quite have Topple's ultimate, but Winnie is off the map. This Aphelios is in a pretty good spot right now, so maybe they feel that they can get this one done. But it's tough. HP, not exactly on their side, but they want to force the situation here, catch themselves back up, and it would be so big for them to be able to kind of have their cake, eat it too. But Zamudo, he's got a problem with this one. He's teleporting in.
Yep, Zamudo, Skytech both here. They're like, hey, this jungle does not belong to you. I'm quite angry that you think that. Kitsuo getting up behind him as well.
Kitsuo's here. He has smite.
Yep, they're going to opt to go ahead and go for him first. The spell immune is getting dropped, and so they're not going to find anything.
Oh, he gets knocked up.
Zamudo trying to find something. The smite goes down. They get top.
They can't get it.
They steal
Okay, they secure it.
Not quite going to steal that Baron. Will also be secured by Team Pending. They need to get out of their flash coming out. Chuki's running for his life. Oh, the cask actually won't quite find the mark, but it doesn't even matter. Chuki's running for his life. Is slowed by the smite. Is he going to escape? Nah, gets hit by the body.
Oh, Masu gets to back.
The
All
sacrifice, dude.
Yeah. So that is risky for Team Pending. They risk losing everything with that one, and they're still going to lose quite a lot because of it with this top tier 2 going down. But they have Baron. They get that extra gold up front, and they manage to get it on 2 members. So at the very least, they can't use it to affect at least 2 lanes at a time here. And with so much standing gold, the mid tier 1, bottom tier 1, this could be the way for them to be able to get some gold back in their hand, get themselves back into this game, because we talked about how strong Masu could be. Look at this man.
Masu, oh my god.
Okay.
Yo, Masu, chill
Nah,
out,
he
brother.
ain't chilling. He ain't chilling.
Oh my god, that was illegal. Picks up the easy kill there on the Lynx. He's like, send me the link to that replay when you're done.
Yes,
And give
sir.
me the kill on Zamudo as well as he grabs that. And that's all that gold influx we were talking about. They want to make sure that Masu gets as much money in his pocket as he can. And those 2 kills right there in this mid turret as well, definitely going to get the job done for him.
Not only are the tier 1s going down, you can easily threaten this tier 2, and this is so much gold. Team Pending are rebounding back into this game, as you can see. And now they still have time to be trying to threaten this inhibitor turret. If they get that mid inhib down, it puts them in a good spot for the next dragon coming up in a couple minutes, which will be their sole point because of the supers constantly pushing out this mid wave. But it's just a turret. They're going to walk away. Oh, Masu's in trouble.
Masu's in a really bad spot. We see the bell coming out. They don't
not quite
find it. Young will trade his life to get that kill onto Masu. But definitely where you get that Baron off of him, you get that shutdown as well. And now Winnie, he is just angry that he got disrespected, and he's looking to find something near Topo. Once those spears get pulled out, that's going to hurt. And it does indeed. Down he goes into the hands of Lynx, and they grab themselves that 2-man.
Yeah, that's one of your Baron buffs gone, done and dusted. Team Pending do get a lot of gold with that one, but AOE managed to strike right back here, and they're going to be able to get this turret as well. Team Pending, not afraid to really stretch the boundaries here, really take these risks to try and get back into it, but you can see it. They're still down 3,000 gold, and I mean, to be fair, a lot of gold is on Skytech. Wait a second.
Oh, does go gold. Gonna buy himself some time. Call the Fortune God gets dropped.
Double knockup.
go! It doesn't even matter though. Robbie Bob gets put in the dirt. They put him down. You can bail him out as much as you want. At the end of the day, you got to pay the price.
That CC potential, that lockdown potential can't be underestimated here. And Team Pending, again, paying the price for Kitsuo. Doing his best to try and take control of his jungle, but he just can't do it. And all this pressure, all this control, you can see the vision being set up here by AOE Esports means that next dragon is all but guaranteed to be theirs unless Team Pending get another team fight like they did in the last one.
Yeah, and with looking at Orin as well, right? He's got those upgraded mythics coming out as well. Already gave it on over to Lynx. They're realizing, it still feels like they didn't, realize the full potential of Lynx's early game. So it's nice to see that now they're looking to invest more and more into him so they can get him back into this thing, because we saw he can do some incredible damage, especially if he stacks up those spears.
Yeah, and the thing to worry about if you're AOE Esports, again, it's Masu. They've done a good job at either spacing him out or immediately taking him down. And that's the key to Team Pending's composition, because you have this Aphelios who has a lot of good combat stats right now. His 2 items, has the BF sword. Like, he is in a good position. He's spiking hard. And if Team Pending give him the space, like they have in some of these team fights, they still have a way into this game. And that's the big thing. The difference between last fight in the Dragon and this one is that AOE didn't get to set up. Can Team Pending set up another pinch like they did before? You already see Robbie Bob on the minimap looking to do exactly that.
Yep, TP's coming out as well. A lot of vision is still down, so they know exactly what's coming. I don't think they see Robbie Bob just yet, but he might be there too late. Encore coming down as well with the Call of Forge guy. They find themselves Kitsu, who is going to go buy himself a little bit of time.
Takeover?
Also, Takeover does get dropped. Now Robbie Bob.
Oh, Masu's in trouble.
Thick of things. Can he find it though? Masu
He's
taking out
trying.
the double for Young. Get the triple as well. Oh my God, so much going down. Robbie Bob doing his best.
He's
stay
trying.
alive. Cannot find it. And down he's still alive actually. Still gonna
Not
get
much
on this
longer.
one. Lynx is hot on his trail. Can he get him?
Oh,
No,
the
there
pink.
we go. He finds the kill.
That's such a big team fight here, and I love that call. You get the inkling. You see from some of your vision. Robbie Bob, oh, he's not here? No problem. We go for the 4v5. We force the situation in the mid lane, and now with 30 seconds on many members of Team Pending, surely at least this inhibitor is going down. You lose your chance at Soul Point as TBA, and AOE Esports firmly reassert their control on this game. Echo, did we lose you? Don't tell me. Oh, I think we lost Echo. We're just going to go do the replay.
Okay,
Like I was
I'm back.
saying.
There we go.
Okay, we got him.
My headset just decided to troll them. But yeah, we get to see the replay of what actually went down here. Look at that. Absolutely huge. They get that knockup onto Kitsuo, force him to go gold. Hostile Takeover doesn't quite find the target they were looking for, unfortunately, and so they just end up all biting the dust.
And the big thing again, they see Robbie on vision. They know he's going for the pinch, and they force the 4v5. You could, if you were looking at the minimap, you see Robbie had no say in that fight until at least one member of his team had already gone down, and everyone else was critically injured. That call from AOE is so important and so huge and a big factor of why they won that fight so easily. They continue to be in control of this game, 5k up, and it's Team Pending who are just even more in the dirt. As now, you can see AOE, they're just going to go ahead and start up this Baron. They have everything they need to deny TBA if they try to make a move.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate to see as well. Team Pending had a really good showing there, but AOE Esports, they know exactly how to just pick these things back up. If they're a little bit behind, they did it perfectly. They understood the assignment, who to take out, who to target, and they do it incredibly well. And so now they are not just back in this thing, but they are incredibly at 5k gold.
Oh,
and they're looking to
this.
find even more here. So you see that double charm coming out. They focus and get down Chukis, get down Masu. Now they're going to turn their attention on over to the rest of Team Pending, who are stuck in the thick of things. They get themselves that first kill at the very least onto Young. Will it matter though? I'm not too sure. Double kill for Lynx. Gonna go ahead and pick up Topo as well. Kitsuo goes down. So much damage. Robbie Bob once again, last man standing, running for his life. He's gonna try and turn into this 3-man, see if he can get Winnie, but too much CC coming out, and he goes down. And the ace for AOE Esports.
Huge, another huge fight coming through for AOE, and they're just playing these ones out so intelligently. They know they're not gonna 50-50 smite against a smite and a Cho'Gath. The play is again splitting the more beefy members of Team Pending, making sure that they don't get to protect people like Masu, like Kitsuo, and AOE Esports just isolate them so very well. They don't let Team Pending play the way they want to play, and it's just gotten them so much success as the second Baron is going over to AOE, more gold up front in their pocket, and so much potential for more after.
Yep. lot of the members of Team Pending just now respawning. We're gonna go ahead and get a replay and exactly find out what just went down.
And you see it again. It's the separation. You see the front line away from the team, and you immediately move into the jungle, surely where TBA are going to be engaging from. And again, by the time the front line come through, 2 members already, and critically Masu being one of them, are out of the picture. This was never a winnable fight to begin with.
Yeah, no, Kitsuo. Oh my God, just gets smited and taken down. And it's nice to see Robbie Bob just realizing, I'm not getting out of this one. I'm going to do my absolute damnedest to try and find something. But it's like we talked about, right? The CC chains that just come out. You've got the double body slam from both Zamudo and Winnie. And there's just nothing you can do if you can't use any of your abilities, let alone attack.
Right, and it's just that breakup, that looking for these situations where there's no such thing as a fair fight here is what AOE Esports are saying. They're not going for the 5v5. They're pulling Team Pending around, making sure that they can take advantage of them being split up, and they pounce. You're at the position where your inhibitor is under threat. Soul point for either team coming up in about 1:30, but right now it is about breaking down the base of Team Pending, and it seems like Team Pending can't even do that much about it. Clear waves as fast as they can, but you have to be aware that all end. The game could end here and now.
Yeah, if they're not careful, AOE Esports, if they see even the slightest bit of opportunity, they will take it and they will look to shut you down. Top turret is going to go down shortly as well. There it goes. It's out for the count. And so will maybe both of these inhibitors. In fact, Team Pending just can't really do anything at the moment. They know that they won't win a head-on fight unless they can find some kind of an opportunity. And things just aren't looking good for them right now.
No, not really. And at this point, they can start working their way over to start threatening these Nexus turrets and basically call Team Pending saying, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and it's looking like Robbie Bob is going to be the one to try and do something, but it doesn't even matter. Down goes Kitsuo. Down goes the next members. Will actually still going gold, so we'll stay alive for a little bit longer. We can get the shutdown on some links. That might be exactly what they need. Masu is still up. Young trying to find a killer. Won't quite get it now. Masu is just barreling down on him. Robbie Bob doing his best. No, I still get the kill, so he'll get the bailout reset. He might still find something. Will still go down, though, to Young at the end of the day. And so Chukis and Masu are going to have to stand their ground if they don't want to lose this first game. Zamudo, ooh, that was just such a nice handshake. It's going to stop him. Actually, not quite going to find it there. It will still go down, and now Masu, last man standing. He's playing around the turret. Will go down at the end of the day, though, and with that, AOE Esports take away game number 1.
And that's off the back of some excellent team fighting coming through from AOE Esports. Again, knowing the way Team Pending's comp works is always able to isolate people like Masu and Kitsuo and make it so that they're not actually participating here. Yeah, your Felios is 3 items. Okay, is he auto-attacking right now? No? Oh, that's just so sad. I'm sorry. I now hand you a fight loss.
Yeah, just give him the card. It's like, there you go. It's over for you. It was so nice to see, right? They understood the assignment. That's really all there can be said. Like, it was very nicely executed. They got done what they needed to get done. Even when there was a few moments where it looked like Team Pending was about to just take this thing and run away with it, AOE Esports is like, no.
How about that Bugs Bunny meme? Just no. There was just no opportunity for them to do it. Again, it's just smart team fighting from AOE Esports. The few fights where Masu got to play, things look great, but there were few of those moments.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not over just yet. Obviously, they still have some time to redeem themselves since it is a best of 3. So we'll throw it over to the desk real quick. Let's get Hawk's ideas on what happened. What do they got to do better? I'm sure Veteran has a whole lot to say, and same with Apple. So let's see what they got to say. Let's throw it on over to him.